everyone, today I would like to present my research about what factors do affect the adoption of Internet of Things in context of smart home in Indonesia. First, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Novia Andini from University of Indonesia as author of this research, and the co-author is Mr. Karto Adiwijaya from University of Indonesia. I will start this presentation by explaining about the introduction why I came up with this topic. The Indonesian digital market is currently developing rapidly in line with the increase of internet users in Indonesia. The internet connectivity network that continues to be improved and the existence of trending digital markets affect internet user growth in Indonesia. To support the government vision of making Indonesia 4.0, the Internet of Things, or IoT, is one of the aspects that can promote the implementation of Indonesia 4.0. According to data from Indonesian Internet of Things Forum, approximately 400 million sensor devices are embedded, of which just 3% is used for housing. This shows that the adoption of smart home in Indonesia is still relatively low, even though it provides many benefits to residents who use smart homes and can also support the implementation of Industry 4.0 in Indonesia. The adoption intention factor of smart home technology can be investigated using the Unified Theory of Acceptance and Use of Technology model. This model is used to determine the likelihood of success of new increasing technologies so that the factors that drive the adoption of these technologies can be examined. The study also extending the model with two new variables. One of the possible obstacles to smart home service implementation has been discovered to be a lack of awareness of smart home technologies. Previous study found that technology knowledge is a crucial factor in determining whether or not to adopt smart home system. On the other hand, a recent report of smart home devices by PwC shows that data privacy is a major concern among customers. So the novelty of this study is by extending the original model with two variables named perceived risk and awareness. The aim of the study is to look at the smart home system IoT adoption intention and answer the research question, which is what are the critical factors influencing the customer intention behavior of smart home technology. The finding of this study attempt to establish acceptance factors that affect people's willingness to use smart home services in Indonesia, and to assist telecommunication company and other business in developing persuasive smart home service. Next, this is the research framework and hypothesis of this study. The framework is using Unified Theory, Acceptance and Use Technology 2 model that expanded with two variables, which is perceived risk and awareness. The study has 8 hypotheses to be tested by using SPSS. The first hypothesis is performance expectancy has a positive influence on behavioral intention. Performance expectancy is a measure of a person's belief when adopting technology to help him gain benefits in job performance. The second hypothesis is effort expectancy has a positive influence on behavioral intention. Effort expectancy is a measure of the user belief that when using a smart home, it can free them from physically or mental effort. Next hypothesis is social influence has a positive influence on behavioral intention. Social influence can be defined as the extent to which users view the importance of others believing that users should use new technologies. Number 4 is facilitating conditions have a positive influence on behavioral intention. Facilitating conditions are the level of individual confidence in the company's infrastructure and technical support for the use of technology. Next, hedonic motivation has a positive influence on behavioral intention. Hedonic motivation is individual motivation in shopping where they believe that shopping is an activity that creates happiness, so they do not attach much importance to the benefit of the product or services they buy. Next, price value have a positive influence on behavioral intention. Price value is a person's perception of how much it costs him to use smart home services to gain the benefit he feels. Next, perceived risk has a negative influence on behavioral intention. Perceived risk is defined as the probability of a loss when the user pursues the desired result from the use of information technology services. And last, awareness has positive influence on behavioral intention. Awareness is a condition where a person knows the stimulus or object first, in the case smart home technology. The methodology that used in this study for data collection, this analysis relies on primary data, which is information gathered directly from researchers. The distribution of quantitative questionnaire was the main data collection method used by researchers. The data collection techniques is by distributing the questionnaire online to respondents in Indonesia through various social media platforms, namely Twitter, Instagram, Line, and WhatsApp group. Closed question with scale response question are the form of question included in this survey. The study surveyed 175 Indonesian respondents from middle and upper class residents where they live in a big cities or are touched by the Internet of Things and know about IoT and have never used IoT or smart home. There are several measurement steps that used in this study. First is wording test. The wording test is done by asking two lecturers who are experts in the field of marketing for help to read, understand, and provide input to revise the questionnaire questions on 35 indicators represented in each question in the research questionnaire and according with the construct of operational research variables. Analysis of the validity of the questionnaire was then carried out through the factor analysis method, and to determine the reliability of each variable, Cronbach alpha was used. After that, before start the main test, classical assumption test was carried out. And for the main test, there are t-test, f-test, and r-square analysis. This is the result of validity test of this study. From the result of the calculation process as shown in the table, for the Kaiser-Meyer-Olkin validity test, the loading value is about 0.5, whereas the Bartlett test of sparsity is below 0.5. This means it is acceptable and suitable to use in the modeling. The composite data reliability of Cronbach alpha per construct is more than 0.7, which means that the items have indicate reliable in measuring the research model. This also means that the questionnaire is suitable to be used as a survey instrument. This is the summarize about the characteristics of the respondent. It can be concluded that the respondents of this study are mostly women with age average 18 to 25 years, span of 3 million to 5 million, domiciled in Jabodetabek, with unmarried status, and most of them work as private employees, with number of family members in 4 to 5 people. Before performing multiple linear regression tests, a classical assumption test is carried out. The result of the classical assumption test show that the data is normally distributed. There is no heteroscedasticity and multicollinearity because value of variance influence factor of each variable has a value below 10 and the tolerance value above 0.1. This is the result of the t-test. Consistent with the proposed research model, the path from performance expectancy, social influence, hedonic motivation, price value, and awareness to behavioral intention of adoption IoT technology were found to be significant and in the direction stipulated by the model. Unexpectedly, the path between effort expectancy and behavioral intention of adoption IoT technologies was found to be significant but in a negative way. The path between facilitating condition and perceived risk was not significant at 0.05 level. From the hypothesis we already made, the results show that the performance expectancy positive striving toward behavior intention. From the finding of this study and combined with other literature, it could be articulated that Indonesian users considered the performance of smart home product before they have an intention to adopt it. This study it showed that effort expectancy has a significant negative effect on behavioral intention. This means that even though the effort in adopting smart home technology is quite heavy, respondents want to continue to adopt smart home technology. Based on the respondent profile, the majority of respondents have a young age range of 18 to 25 years, which makes them feel the effort of adopting technology is not an obstacle in adopting technology. Social influence was found to have a significant positive effect on behavioral intention. In terms of perception of important people and parties such as family members, friends, and the mass media that contribute significantly to other people's intention to use the smart home applications. This is obvious to Indonesians who are usually very much influenced by the advice given by those closest to them. Users who think that individuals in their social circle have positive attitude toward using smart home are more likely to form similar attitude. The results show that facilitating conditions are not a significant predictor of behavioral intention towards smart home. The surprising finding could be attributed to the fact that most of the subjects in this study have little experience with smart home technology. Users with little or no experience with smart home technology may believe that using smart home technology is similar to using the comparable non-IoT objects. Results show that hedonic motivation has a significantly positive impact on attitude towards smart home technology. This finding indicates that, in addition to functional reasons, smart home technology is adopted for hedonic reasons. Users who find smart home technology enjoyable tend to form attitudes that support it. Since smart home technology is still developing, users can experience the joy of being innovative as they adopt new technology. The results indicate that the price value positively influences behavioral intention. This means that users consider the benefit of smart home technology against the monetary value. Users who believe that the price of smart home technology is justified by the potential benefit as a strong behavioral intention to adopt smart home technology. Perceived risk didn't show a significant correlation with intention to adopt IoT at home. Some respondents were too young to consider about risks, and some users just felt no fear to lose anything in using the technology. In this study, perceived risks were not significant because most of the respondents were not familiar with IoT at home or smart home products, and hence they did not become aware of any risk they might face when using IoT. People's awareness of the smart home application significantly influenced their behavioral intention of smart home service. Awareness claimed as the most influential determinant to predict intention to adopt IoT at home. Next is the F-test. From the simultaneous test, it can be concluded that the factors that used in the study simultaneously have an effect on behavioral intention. And from the R-squared analysis, it showed that the variables have an effect of 69.2% of behavioral intention, while the remaining 30.8% influenced by a variety to other factors that were not examined in the study. From the results that have been explained, there are some implications for practice. As a service provider of smart home devices, it is suggested to educate customers in order to increase their awareness of the service and better understand how to use them, because awareness claimed as the most influential determinant to predict intention to adopt IoT at home. The method that can be done by smart home services provider is to use various communication channels such as social media, Instagram, YouTube, and also some advertisement carried out in marketplace that provides smart home equipment, because the segment target from smart home service are used this platform to communicate daily. The message content that can be highlighted in the marketing communication carried out is to show the benefit of smart home that can improve performance in their home. Because from the result from the study showed that the performance expectancy is one of the significant factors affecting the behavioral intention. Smart home service provider can also work with influencers or public figures who have influence and trust from customers about technology in the form of IoT in conveying the message they want to convey to the audience. Because from the results show that social influence is factor that influence people to adopting smart home. From the result of hedonic motivation, smart home provider suggested to improve the experience of customer by adding an element of gamification to the smart home devices. And last, the conclusion of this study is there is a new phenomenon that is supposed to have a major impact on certain aspects of people's life. The aim of this analysis is to determine the factors affecting of adopting of IoT technology in the sense of the smart home. Unified theory, acceptance, and use technology tool is integrated into the literature on perceived risk and awareness by the theoretical paradigm discussed and evaluated here. The expanded model provides a more complete view of the factor affecting IoT adoption. The findings indicate that the model construct have an impact on IoT adoption. Additionally, the findings indicate that understanding play a major role in IoT adoption intention. Surprisingly, the findings indicate that facilitating condition and perceived risk has no impact on adoption intention in the smart home house. The research adds to the body of knowledge in information system by demonstrating the explanatory power of an existing unified theory, acceptance, and use technology tool in the sense of user IoT. Okay, that's my presentation. Thank you, and for the question is welcome.